Most of you would know what picture that is. That's bang on. This is the photograph of the much-talked cluttered desk of a famous scientist Einstein on the day he passed away. This photograph is simply proof of how busy he was until his last breath. It all started one day when my mother, like any other cleanliness freak, yelled at me and gave me a small 30-minute lecture about how my cluttered desk could reduce my productivity, how important it is to have a neat desk. So like any other rebellious teenager, when I retaliated to show her this photograph, only to listen to another small 30-minute lecture, which meant in short that by copying Einstein's cluttered desk, I certainly cannot become Einstein. Now, while I agree to that completely, while I have no plans to become another Einstein and give the world a few more theories, it definitely made me ponder that why neatness is so very overrated. This also led me to thinking that I read 3 books together. Fun fact, I might not remember where I kept my book last, but I would 101% remember what I read last. And then boom, characters start to slip from one book to another, leading to twisted plots. This gave birth to my imagination, and guess what? I was a mastermind at the twisted plot activity done usually in schools to enhance the creativity of students. Remembering my school activity when Alice slipped into the Hogwarts castle to meet Harry Potter with his best friend Percy Jackson, only to realize that she's one of the accomplices for the deadly quest that they were supposed to go to. I discovered that I could focus way better with the music or the TV when I started listening to songs while studying a few years back. I discovered that I could focus way better with the music or the TV. But oh dear, this isn't so simple. Here's the catch. If I follow the lyrics of a song I'm familiar with, I tend to write down the lyrics of the song along with my work. So it just somehow goes like, metamorphosis is an inevitable event. When the sun shines, we shine together. But if I turn on a song I've not yet heard or I'm not so familiar with, I'll go with the beats and flow. At the same time, you might see me working on about 10 assignments with 11 things on my head and 20 tabs open. To be precise, 19. My mom, for instance, finds it chaotic and too much on my head, to quote. I look at it as organized chaos. I don't get lost in it like the others might. In fact, I focus better with it. Quite a lot of people might find it weird and disturbing, but that is my zone, a zone where I bring out the best of whatever I do. Back to my desk. I've always wondered how neatness or things associated with it have become a strong social norm that most people could have a biased opinion on this, based on just this one factor you're seen with a critical viewpoint. Now for real, why is somebody perceived to be organized, hardworking, or for that matter having a disciplined life just because they have a neat desk? It could either be the case that the person is so particular about putting things back to their designated place before signing off, only to leave the desk neat and uncluttered every day. Or it could be the case that the person is so lazy and non-productive, and that's precisely why something kept on the desk since probably days or even months ago is still there, unmoved, untouched. And why is a cluttered desk almost always related to the concept of chaos? Why is somebody perceived to be unorganized just because they have a cluttered desk? I couldn't agree more to one of the most famous quotes by Einstein himself, and hereby I quote and unquote, "If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what then is an empty desk a sign?" And for that matter, Albert Einstein was not the only one having a cluttered desk. Mark Twain, Steve Jobs, Thomas Edison, and the music maestro Beethoven had messy desks too, just like most of the geniuses. Statistics reveal that every 1 out of 4 people say that having friends who have messy desks have a negative impact. 40% believe that messy desks makes their work less productive, and 12% believe that people might judge them all just because of a messy desk. Researchers at the University of Minnesota recently tested how well students came up with new ideas. The study showed participants in the messy room generated the same number of ideas as the clean room counterparts, but their ideas were rated as 28% more interesting and creative when evaluated by impartial judges. A new study published on Psychological Sciences concluded that it's most beneficial to have a messy desk at the beginning of a project and a clean one at the end. A messy environment promotes unconventional new thinking and unconventional new ideas and creative thinking. While our cluttered desks may not prove brilliant, they do strongly show that we are people with a working brain. So if your work area, like mine, is usually a mess, it's time to stop apologizing to the neat freaks and start feeling proud about our organized chaos and the ability to work with it. The next time you see your cluttered or a messy desk, do not fret. That is your gateway to your creativity.